So let's see what we can do with how we can reframe the thinking that we have around money. And, you know, generally when we have stress around money, what happens is that the basic thought around it is, I don't have enough, right? That's where the stress with money comes from, is like whatever, I mean, however much you have and whatever you want it for, but the assumption behind it is, I don't have enough. So let's look at reframing that. And so maybe the anxiety of it can let us go a little bit. So in your life, look at a moment when you had that thought, when you remember having that thought. And, you know, there can be anything from you got a huge bill because your equipment broke down, or you're like threatening to go bankrupt, to like you're just putting something back on a hanger and going like, no, I can't buy this right now. I don't have the money for it. So whatever situation is there for you when you have that thought, I don't have enough money. And so then we're going to take it through the whole process of inquiry, just quickly. And what that does is it's going to help us understand what the thought does in our life, look at how we could live life if that wasn't a predominant thought in our life. And so that gives us different options next time the thought comes up again. And then we're turning it around. And so that is like questioning, you know, is this really true? And, or, you know, to say it a little bit flippantly, or am I making myself anxious and worried over nothing or nothing much? So the questions of inquiry are 4 questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react? What happens when you believe the thought? And who would you be without the thought? So I don't have enough money. The first question in your situation. So is it true? You don't have enough money. And so just look at that moment and give yourself that question and see what answer comes up for you. And stay with a yes or a no. Is it true? Yes or no? And then the second question, can I absolutely know that that's true? I don't have enough money in that moment. And again, your answer is a yes or a no. And notice if your mind wants to now go into changing the story or discussing anything, and just ask again for a simple yes or no. Can you absolutely know this is true? And neither yes or no is wrong. Both answers are equal. And how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought in your situation that you don't have enough money? What are the emotions that come up? How do these emotions feel in your body? Where do they sit? How do you treat other people? Is it a stressful thought or is it a peaceful thought? How do you treat yourself? And maybe you even have some addictions or obsessions that come up with that thought. And maybe you have images of the future or the past that come in, other thoughts that prove the story that you don't have enough money. So for me, that thought is making my chest tight immediately. I don't breathe well and I feel fear. It's like sitting in my throat. My face closes up. There's tension across my shoulders, a knot in my stomach. I will immediately resolve to work harder, work more. If somebody interrupts me, I will get irritable with them. I might get irritable with my children when they're asking for something. If they want something, I'd get really irritable. I don't have money for that right now. That's not important. There is a tension every time I take out the credit card in those times when that is a strong thought. I don't have enough money. It's definitely stressful. And then the fourth question of inquiry, who would I be without the thought that I don't have enough money in that same situation that you have right now? And that might not be easy to imagine right away. That is one of the things that inquiry teaches us, to imagine how would I be different, and to notice how much of our stress comes from our thinking, and to ask ourselves whether that thinking is even true. Because our mind is going to take our thoughts for true until such a moment that we question that. So who would you be without the thought, I don't have enough money for this? And for me, it comes immediately. I ask myself these questions a lot. So what comes immediately is a deep breath. And in that deep breath, my body relaxes, my chest opens up, and the knot in my stomach lessens. And generally, my face starts to smile, to relax. So I feel better. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to buy what I was going to buy. It doesn't mean I'm going to spend more money. But it means I have more time for myself. I look after myself better. I don't stress myself quite so much. It also means I look at my finances without fear. That's all. They might still be the same finances, but they cause me less stress. And it might still mean that I find that I don't want to splurge on this, that, and the other, but it's not that stressful to think about it. And when I look around myself without that thought, then I see that I live in a society, I live a way of life where I have plenty, I have so much money. And that really puts things into perspective when I worry. And that's also what happens when I turn this thought around to its opposite. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. Turned around to its opposite would be, I do have enough money. And so to look at that, you would find 3 examples how in your situation it is true that you have enough money. For me, this is simple. Like, I mean, look around. I have a fantastic house. I absolutely love my house. It's beautiful. It's not very big, but it's really lovely. It's got so many windows, so much light coming in. It's got a fantastic, beautiful yard with huge trees. It's such a nice house. My fridge is full. I get to feed my kids every day. I just bought them winter stuff. It's secondhand, but it's going to keep them warm for sure. I do have plenty of money. I have so much money. So see your examples. What are your examples in your turnaround? I have enough money. So what this whole inquiry process does, this reframing, is looking at your thinking, becoming aware of your thinking, and becoming aware of how much stress your thinking brings into your life. And that doesn't mean you become, careless with money, or you just start spending and you don't make a plan. On the contrary, you're just much clearer and much more confident. And you don't have like this lying awake at night being stressed about it. You're not that anxious about it. You're more clear and more confident. That's what that does. And the more you use this process for the kind of thoughts that you have, the clearer you get. Like, I don't have enough money. Of course, there's other things underlying, but all of them can be questioned. So have a look for my course, The Quest for Treasure, that's coming up now. It's a 6-week course in inquiring into money, into the various issues that we have around money in the group, sharing the process in the group and learning from our own inquiries as well as from each other. Check it out if you're interested to look at the money mindset that you have. If you're interested in learning it yourself, if you're interested in taking control of your thinking and being more relaxed and confident with your money mindset. So I'm Stephanie Scoopin. My company is The Leader's Work, and I work with professionals in healthcare, whether that is medicine, veterinary medicine, and alternative healthcare, who are frustrated and anxious and stressed because of the demands in their career. And of course, worry about money can play a large role in it, like in student debts or in how do I pay my salaries for my staff. And I help these people, these professionals like you, feel more relaxed and more confident through workshops and classes and also one-on-one facilitation. So if you're interested in learning more about that, comment below where you've seen the video, send me an email at steph@theleaderswork or get in contact. I'd love to hear from you and help you look at your stress.